The Galactic Council had existed for 12,000 years. 743 species had joined its ranks. They had built empires that stretched across millions of star systems. They had conquered death itself through technology. They had created weapons that could crack planets open like eggs. They believed they had seen everything the universe could offer. They were wrong. Ambassador of the stood before the great viewing window of Council Station Prime. His four eyes watched the darkness of space with growing unease. 3 hours ago, an unknown vessel had dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the system. It had not responded to any communication attempts. It had not followed standard approach protocols. It simply hung there in the void, silent and still. The ship was ugly. That was the first thing every species noticed. Where council vessels were elegant and smooth, built with mathematical precision and artistic beauty, this thing was brutal. It was covered in harsh angles and thick armor plates. Weapons bristled from every surface like the spines of some primitive creature. The hull was blackened, marked by countless impacts and energy burns. This ship had seen battle, many battles. High Commander of the Militant Order entered the observation deck. His massive form moved with the confidence of a warrior who had never known defeat. The species had served as the military arm of the Council for 6,000 years. They had crushed rebellions. They had ended wars. They had brought peace through superior firepower. "We have analyzed the vessel," announced, his deep voice rumbling through the chamber. "It is approximately 3 kilometers in length. Its armor appears to be composed of dense metallic alloys, primitive compared to our energy shields but remarkably thick. We count over 200 weapon systems visible on the hull." 200, Ambassador turned from the window. "That seems excessive." "It is," agreed. "No sane species would waste resources on so many redundant systems. Our vessels carry perhaps 20 weapons each. This ship carries 10 times that number. It is inefficient, wasteful." "Perhaps they do not have energy shields," suggested Science Director, her crystalline form catching the light as she moved closer to the tactical display. "Without shields, they would need physical armor and many weapons to compensate. A species without energy shields would never survive long enough to build such a vessel," dismissed the idea. "They would have been conquered thousands of years ago." The communication officer, a small named, suddenly sat up straight at her station. "The vessel is responding to our hails. Audio only." The chamber fell silent. Every eye turned toward the speakers. A voice emerged. It was deep and rough, speaking in a language that the universal translator struggled to process. After a moment of static, words formed that everyone could understand. "This is Captain of the United Earth Navy warship Unconquered. We come in peace, but we are prepared for war. State your intentions." Ambassador stepped forward. "I am Ambassador of the Galactic Council. We welcome you to civilized space. Please identify your species and for our records." There was a pause, then the voice returned. "We are human from Earth, Sol System, Orion Arm." The science director immediately began searching the database. Her movements became confused, then frantic. "There is no record of this species, no record of this Earth or Sol System. They are not in any of our surveys." "That is impossible," growled. "We have surveyed every system in this galaxy. Every habitable world has been." "Check again," ordered. The search continued for several minutes. The results remained the same. According to every record the Council possessed, humanity did not exist. Their world did not exist. Their entire solar system did not exist. Captain spoke carefully into the communicator. "Our records show no species matching your description. How long has your civilization existed?" "Modern civilization, about 6,000 years. Space travel, about 300 years." 300 years. The number hung in the air like poison gas. In 300 years, they had barely learned to leave their atmosphere. They had just discovered fire. Yet these humans had built a vessel capable of crossing the galaxy. "That is remarkable progress," managed to say. "How did you achieve faster-than-light travel so quickly?" "We found old technology floating in space, wreckage from some ancient battle. We took it apart, figured out how it worked, improved it." Science director made a sound of disbelief. "Reverse engineering advanced technology requires understanding the principles behind it. It should take thousands of years to develop that understanding from nothing." "We're quick learners," Captain replied. There was something in his voice now, a hardness that had not been there before. "We had good motivation." "What motivation?" asked. Silence stretched for a long moment. 30 years after we first left our planet, we met another species. They came to our colony on the fourth planet of our system. They did not come in peace. The name meant nothing to the council members, but something in the humans' tone made them uneasy. They killed 8 million humans in their first attack. They destroyed our colony completely. Then they sent a message to Earth. They told us that we were now their property. Our planet would be harvested. Our people would be slaves. Resistance was pointless because they were the masters of this region of space. Shifted uncomfortably. "I have never heard of the—" "No," Captain said, "you wouldn't have." The temperature in the observation chamber seemed to drop. "We didn't surrender," the human continued. "We didn't negotiate. We built ships. We built weapons. We learned everything we could from every piece of technology we could find or steal, and then we went hunting." "Hunting," whispered. They had ruled their region of space for 80,000 years. They had conquered 43 species. They had a fleet of 10,000 warships. They had technology we could barely understand. "And what happened to them?" asked, though she was not sure she wanted to know the answer. "Nothing happened to them. There is no them anymore. They no longer exist. Their worlds are ash. Their species is extinct. We made sure of it." The silence that followed was absolute. 743 species had joined the council. Wars had been fought. Empires had risen and fallen. But in 12,000 years, no species had ever been completely destroyed. It was considered impossible. There were always survivors, refugees, scattered populations that eventually recovered. "You committed genocide," said, his voice barely a whisper. "We called it survival," replied. "They started a war they couldn't finish. We finished it for them." "How long did this war last?" asked. 47 years. 47 years. In 47 years, humanity had gone from a single planet to destroying an empire that had existed for 80,000 years. The mathematics of it were terrifying. The implications were worse. "After there were others," continued. "The collective thought we would make good soldiers for their armies. The dimensional priests believed we were demons that needed to be purified. The machine intelligence of Sector 7 calculated that we were a threat to their expansion. All of them are gone now." Ambassador found himself stepping backward. He had negotiated with tyrants. He had faced down warlords. He had never felt fear like this. "Why are you here?" he asked. "We've been expanding outward for 200 years. We've encountered 17 spacefaring civilizations. Most of them attacked us. All of them regretted it. But lately, we've been hearing whispers. Stories about a great council that rules this part of the galaxy. A council of hundreds of species living in peace." The human's voice softened slightly. "We came to see if the stories were true. We came to see if there was someone out there who didn't want to kill us, enslave us, or wipe us out." Looked at, the High Commander's confidence had evaporated. He was staring at the tactical display showing the human vessel, and his expression was one of pure terror. Not because of the 200 weapons on that ship, not because of the thick armor or the battle scars. It was because of what those scars represented. Every mark on that hull was evidence of a battle survived. Every weapon was proof of lessons learned through blood and fire. This vessel was not designed for exploration or diplomacy. It was designed to survive anything the universe could throw at it. And it had. "We mean you no harm," said, "but I want to be clear about something. In 300 years we have never started a war. We have never attacked without being attacked first. We have never struck the first blow, but we have always struck the last one." "We understand," said quietly. "Do you? Because I've read your communications. I've seen your fleet positions. You have 12 warships moving toward this location right now. I assume that's standard protocol for first contact with an unknown vessel. I understand that. But I want you to understand something too." The human paused. "This ship is not our strongest. It is not our. The Unconquered is 200 years old. It was built to fight the. There are 17,000 ships in the United Earth Navy. 4 of them could reduce this entire system to rubble." "We will recall the fleet," said immediately. "This was a misunderstanding." "Good, because we're tired, Ambassador. We're tired of fighting. We're tired of watching our children grow up learning how to kill before they learn how to read. We left Earth to explore the stars, not to conquer them. But every time we reach out our hand in friendship, someone tries to cut it off." "The Council does not wish conflict," said, and he meant it more than he had ever meant anything in his life. "Then we have something in common. Perhaps we can build on that. Perhaps, for the first time in 300 years, we've finally met someone who wants peace as much as we do." The communication ended. The observation deck remained silent for a long time. Finally, Science Director spoke. "They destroyed 4 civilizations, perhaps more. They did it in less time than it takes most species to develop basic industry, and their oldest warship is more heavily armed than anything in our entire fleet." "They are monsters," whispered. "No," said quietly. "They are survivors. There is a difference." He turned back to the viewing window. The human vessel hung in the darkness, ugly and terrible, but it had come in peace. It had asked for friendship, and somehow that was more frightening than if it had opened fire. Because it meant that everything humans had done, every war they had won, every species they had destroyed, they had done while trying not to fight. They had done it because they had no choice. And found himself wondering what humans would be capable of if they ever actually wanted a war. The galaxy fell silent after first contact with a human warship, not because humanity demanded it, not because they threatened anyone. The galaxy fell silent because, for the first time in 12,000 years, every species in the Council looked at their fleets and their weapons and their ancient empires, and they realized something terrible. They were not the most dangerous thing in the universe. They never had been.